Well, I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV, episode number 236. We're attempting our first live review show in quite a while. It's a long time since we attempted one of these. And you can see how much success we're having. That Josh doesn't exist. But anyway, so we are broadcasting from Alter Ego Comics in Lima, Ohio. And it's New Comic Book Day. We're here to talk about the comics that we like best this week. And then we're going to give you our top 5 reasons why we're excited about DC Comics Rebirth. So we'll start with the good stuff. And I'm going to go with my pick of the week, which is Justice League number 48 by Geoff Johns and Jason Fabok. This is Darkseid War, which seems to be a never-ending story. But that's okay, because that's actually pretty good. So this is part 8. And I think we're coming to the end here. There may only be 1 or 2 more parts left. Great, massive team-up book between the Justice League and the, whatchamacallit, the Crime Syndicate. Is that right? Yes, Josh? Hello? Josh, can you hear me? Can anyone hear me? Someone give me a sign. Okay. Brian says he can hear me, so I don't know what happened to Josh. This is usually much better if we can talk to each other as we talk about the comics we like. But Darkseid War continues to be all kinds of awesome. Really just a huge fan of Jason Fabok's artwork, which I believe I've said many, many times. I think he might be the successor to Jim Lee as far as his art style. So really good stuff. Some storylines, I don't want to say are wrapped up, but some of the stuff that we've seen over the last 7 parts kind of circles around again, and just really strong storytelling by Geoff Johns. Josh, are you with us?
Yeah, more or less.
Okay, well, why don't you talk about something?
I'm calling from the great beyonds to tell you about Astonishing Ant-Man number 5. Written by Mark Spencer with art by Ramon Rosanas. And this book is great. Nick Spencer writes Ant-Man the way I want to read him. It's fun, it's light, and it's not the same thing over and over again. Scott's character evolves, the people he's with change, and it's just really compelling. As you can see from the cover, which I guess you can't see because we don't have cover images, we've got the all-new Giant Man, who Scott gave the costume to at the end of the Ant-Man annual before the end of Secret Wars, and he's learning to be a superhero, and it's not going great. So Scott Lang, being the ambassador for the Avengers that he thinks he is going to go out and teach him so that Wasp doesn't kick his butt. And it's just fun. It's light, it's enjoyable, it's everything I loved about the Ant-Man movie in a palatable comic book form.
Okay, that was very concise. And The Astonishing Ant-Man is an awesome book. It should be called The Awesome Astonishing Ant-Man. The all-new, all-different, astonishing, awesome Ant-Man. New book this week, new number 1 from IDW, Winona Earp, number 1. Now, this character has been around for a little while. It's created by Bo Smith and is actually going to be a TV series on the Sci-Fi Channel. I believe it starts in March. There's an ad in here, so I should flip to it rather quickly. See when the TV show starts. Right there we go.
I like the way all those ads call out 13 one-hour episodes. Like it's like this is all we're doing, guys. Or to guarantee it won't be canceled after 6 episodes, I guess.
Well, Selena, if you want us to put one in your poll file, let us know. But this was a pleasant surprise, but I really should not have been surprised. I'm kind of a fan of Bo Smith. So anyway, the Sci-Fi series starts on April 1st. Looking forward to it. Anyway, Winona Earp is the distant relative. I shouldn't say distant relative, but she is related to the Wyatt Earp. And she is a member of a U.S. Marshal program that goes after supernatural stuff. So she's kind of like Dana Scully, but rough and tumbler, if that's a word, if that's a way to say it. And one of the cool points about this that I was really looking forward to, and I was very happy to see, is Laura Innes does the artwork for this. And Laura has been a guest at the shop 2 times. Most recently, about 1.5 years ago for our Ladies' Night event. And she has her own creator book called The Dreamer. So Laura she did the cover, and she's doing the interiors for Winona Earp. As I said, this is published by IDW. There's some great content in the back by Bo Smith, again, the creator of the comic, photos of him being on set with the series, and just, his general thoughts about working in the comic book industry. This guy's been in the industry for like 25 or 30 years, so he's been around the block a few times. Was pleasantly surprised. Didn't really know what to expect from this, but it's a winner for me.
Yeah, and I liked that you could easily jump in and pick it up. They gave you everything you needed, even though there's been a reasonable amount of content. They've done some, one-shots and a mini, I believe, before. There's a trade coming out collecting all the previous stuff in about 3 months, I think. Also a new number 1 this week. It's time from Marvel. We've got Worst X-Men Ever. It's a 5-issue mini written by Max Bemis, who you may remember from Say Anything, which is apparently some sort of musical supergroup. I don't know.
It is only a movie.
It is only a movie starring John Cusack and Jonas Guy, with art by Michael Walsh. And this is one that I had very little expectation for, and it was just a lot of fun. It's about a kid. We've got, dozens upon hundreds of mutant X-Men over the years, and we finally get one whose power is awful. This kid's ability is to explode, but only once. If he explodes, he will die, and then that's it. So he is the worst X-Man ever. As a mutant, he's still welcomed to the school, but you get to see just the awesomeness of a geeky fanboy kid who finally gets superpowers, and they suck. So I really enjoyed it. I like seeing a lot of the classic X-Men characters in unusual situations, and this is sort of out of continuity, I believe, because we've got a bunch of dead X-Men on the cover. Cyclops and Wolverine are both in this in their traditional form. We've got a weird mix mash of different costumes from different eras. So it's sort of its own pocket universe, but it's just a great, fun X-Men story when a lot of the X-books are a little heavy, and it was a good time.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. I didn't really know how to describe it. I mean, you did a good job describing it, but if you're a continuity freak, this book is going to bug you because there's a lot. It just doesn't make sense. I'm not sure who the audience is with this, but if you're interested in the X-Men, if you can enjoy a story that feels a little off, and I felt like the humor was kind of weird too, to some degree. I don't want to give too much away, but something pretty traumatic happens to this kid, and it's kind of like, oh well.
There was a time jump there,
So do you have anything else you want to talk about? New content?
No, we both did too, right?
Yep. I mean, it's a lot of we say this several times when we do the show. A lot of the stuff that we usually like, we still like. So the new issue of Saga is out this week. The new issue of Lois and Clark is out this week. 2 series that I really enjoy, and I think the world really enjoys Saga. So yeah, we thought we'd spend the rest of our time here talking about the top 5 reasons why we are looking forward to DC Comics Rebirth. And I guess I'll give a quick summary of the announcement that came out last week. And that's that DC is going through another rebirth. Now, this isn't a reboot. This isn't like the launching of the New 52. This is kind of going to be similar in tone to Green Lantern Rebirth and Flash Rebirth, both of which were written by Jeff Johns. And Jeff Johns is writing DC Rebirth as well, which is launching as an 80-page giant on May 25th with a bunch of awesome artists attached to it. We don't know a whole lot about the story, obviously, at this point, but we do know several things about what the DC universe will look like afterwards. So we'll get into that in our top 5. And of course, Josh and I are probably working from different notes. So this should be interesting. So the top reason for me to be excited about DC Comics Rebirth is that it's brought Jeff Johns brought his focus back to comics. For the last 2 years, he's been really immersed in the DC TV world, acting as a producer on Flash. I don't know if he's a producer on Arrow or not, but he's definitely the go-to guy for DC Comics, kind of that bridge between DC Comics and Warner Brothers television. So he's coming back to comics full force, and he released a video. And if I can find a link, I'll put it in the chat dialogue here, kind of talking about it. And I thought he was going to cry at one point. He was just so is kind of emotional about the first two Rebirth stories and kind of where he's going next. So that's the number one reason for me. Jeff Johns is coming back to write some awesome DC comics.
I think that should be the number one reason for everyone. But another key talking point that DC kind of hammered home is they're going back to their draw the line at $2.99 campaign. All of the regular monthly books will be $2.99, which is almost $2 cheaper than the average comic now. So that's kind of a big deal. Yeah, I don't know how you're breaking out these points.
No,
so.
That's fine. That was a standalone point in my notes here.
Okay.
That it is $2.99. I guess I will jump to another point, which is connected to it, and that's that I don't know. It's hard to talk about these individually because they're all kind of connected. But right. I'm going to jump to. They are dropping from 52 ongoing titles to 32 ongoing titles, which I think is an amazing step in the right direction, and I wish every publisher would cut their output. There's a lot of great stuff out there, but not everybody is Richie Rich. Not everybody can afford to buy every comic. And if you make your universe more accessible and more concise, I think you'll get more people to follow a fewer number of titles. My philosophy has always been, if Marvel and DC would cut their output by 50%, they would actually sell more comics than what they're selling now. So I'm curious to see what happens with DC going down to 32 ongoing titles. Some of them are completely new. Some of them are titles that we're familiar with, but sticking with 32, I think, is a great idea.
Yeah, and none of them are. I don't think any of them are completely new. I mean, calling Batgirl and the Birds of Prey a new series is being a little overly charitable. Those are existing properties. And another thing we need to remember here is, which I guess is the next point, is DC's best books are going to be coming out twice as often. Your top tier books like Batman and the core Green Lantern book are going to be shipping twice a month, which actually brings the number of titles they're shipping per month up to, I believe, 49, which is within ballpark of where they are now. But it means we're getting more of the good stuff, which is really to everyone's benefit, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have a great creative team on a book like Batman or Superman or Wonder Woman, I think we'll all be happy with twice the output. I think people would be happy with 2 issues of Scott Snyder Batman a month. So with the reduced cover price of $2.99, they're going to be, Snyder is not going to be on Batman. Snyder, I believe, is moving over to Detective. But that's part of the mystery right now, is that none of the creative teams have really been announced. So I don't know if they're recycling some of their current talent, if they're going to have new announcements, what the deal is. And that obviously is a big component. If it's the same old creative teams, then there really isn't anything special. So I'm hoping that we get some announcements of some new talent coming over to DC, whether it's from Image and Dark Horse and kind of creator-owned land, or Marvel creators jumping over to DC. I really think they need to shake things up to get the interest level back. Where were we? We were talking about the ongoing. Oh, the book shipping twice a month, and then we've essentially talked about 4 things. The 5th thing is that Action Comics and Detective Comics, the 2 longest running series prior to the launch of the New 52, are returning to their original numbering. So they're factoring in the issues. There'll be 52 issues of Action and 52 issues of Detective that have come out. So Action and Detective will both be going back to their original numbering, putting them both very close to hitting issue number 1000, which is amazing. So, I mean, I'm a fan of continuity. I'm not hugely excited when companies start and stop. And especially when they renumber, it makes it confusing for new readers, and it just irritates old readers, I think. But at the end of the day, we've said many times, it's all about the story. So if they're telling good stories, then that's the lion's share of the work. But it's a pet peeve of mine to constantly renumber things. Josh, any additions?
No, I think we hit all the points there.
Okay. Well, anybody that's still with us, does anybody have any questions, any comments regarding DC Comics Rebirth? Yes, sorting comics when the numbers keep changing is very complicated. You end up with Spider-Man Volume 17. And Digital only titles, I haven't heard anything about any DC digital only title. I imagine that they will somewhere down the road. They've done that with Supergirl. Marvel has done that with several different things. I think as long as there's an audience there, then the publishers will continue to produce kind of digital first. I don't know if there's anything that's exclusive to digital. It seems like most everything gets collected in print at some point. But I guess that would depend on sales. So, yes, the 1 point numbering that Spider-Man is using also irritates the heck out of us and our point of sale system.
And this is like the third time Spider-Man's done a series of point issues as a mini. Just make it a mini series, guys. You're not fooling anybody.
Yeah. So there we go. DC Rebirth in a nutshell. We should have ordering information next month. So what month are we in here? We're going into March. So the April previews catalog should have all of the DC Comics Rebirth data in it. And I've been told that DC is producing a special self-contained previews for that month only, that we will be, I'll just say it, we'll be giving it away. Same thing that we did with the New 52 previews. So all of our regular subscribers will be getting a free DC previews in whatever month I just said, April. And will we be getting the new Image previews? Yes. They will be included with the purchase of the full previews catalog or available separately for $1.99. And if you haven't heard, Image is kind of taking a cue from Marvel. They're producing their own previews catalog, which will have exclusive comic content in it. The first story is a multi-part Walking Dead story that won't be published anywhere else for now. So
if you want, 4 pages per issue over the 12 issues, so you'll wind up with 48 page Walking Dead story by Charlie Adler and Robert Kirkman that is available nowhere else.
Absolutely. So I'm glad people are excited by that. Comic movies are I thought it said killing it in Hollywood. I don't know if they're killing Hollywood. I think Hollywood has a tendency to get carried away with things and sometimes have things overstay their welcome. But, everybody's going to have a different opinion about that. If you look at the box office, they're not killing Hollywood. They are saving Hollywood, I think. Okay, Josh, you got anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, we have reached the end of our first technologically challenged blab. What do you guys think about this? You want to see us continue doing, live reviews? Let us know. Ed likes it. Laura likes it. That's good. We've got some people that like it. We're getting lots of hand clapping, so that's good. Brian likes it. Cool. Everyone that we care about likes it, so that's it. Yeah, you're right. We're all that count. You're not wrong. You're the people that showed up. Oh wait, Selena. Wait. Something. Oh, sorry. Okay. I don't know. Did she say she liked it? Sometimes this chat thing doesn't really work entirely well, but we really appreciate everybody tuning in, and we're going to figure this out as we go along, and definitely open to having people kind of join us in the open seats and share books that they are really excited about. So we will shoot for 12:30 next Wednesday to do this again. And until then, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.